Amen. John chapter 13 this morning. John chapter 13. We're back into the study of John. Kind of took a break for Stewardship Month and then Christmas and then kind of a study on the office of pastors and deacons and stuff like that. So that was kind of our parentheses. So now we're back into John's good news. John's good news. So we had gotten to chapter 12. And what is interesting when you think, because we think so like a history book, right? It's kind of divided into as it goes along. But John's gospel, the first 12 chapters are the first 3 years of Jesus' ministry. 13 to 20 is really 72 hours. Chapter 21 is then some of the stories of the 40 days after he rises again from the dead. But a third of the book is less than 72 hours. So over the next many weeks, it's going to take us, because there's big chunks of teaching that are only found in John. Now remember, John is writing about 30 years after Matthew, Mark, and Luke. So the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, are written like the late 50s into maybe the early 60s, maybe as early as the early 50s. John is going to write the Gospel of John in probably the mid to late 80s or even 90. So the Matthew, Mark, and Luke is widely disseminated in the Christian world. John writes not a synoptic, not a see together gospel like Matthew, Mark, and Luke. He writes a completely different theme that you might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. Now stop and think a second. If John is writing this in about 85 or 90, John is 70 years old when he's writing this gospel. So that puts it in perspective.